Hello. Thank you for tuning into my channel. This is a preview for my 2025 plans as far as sewing and quilting. So if you want to see the goals for this year and where I'm planning to start, please stay tuned. I am so excited for this year ahead. As far as 2025 goes, I'm really looking forward to completing a few more projects. There are a few things that I want to start that I'm a little bit nervous about, but either way, this video is going to be just kind of a compilation of my current works in progress. And I went ahead and made a list of those ahead of time, and I have some of them here around me. Now, I have some things, you can see some things on my design wall, and I think I'll go through and kind of show you some of the things because I worked on them last week, right before New Year's, like the week of New Year's and before. And so I have a few little pieces of things that I've been putting together. So I'll show you those first, and then we can get them kind of crossed off of the list as far as showing you the UFO for that project. So let's go through. I'll get up and move around a little bit. Let me see here. Let me take these down first because I'm going to come back to these blocks. So here we go. These are some things that I have already kind of worked on as far as the new year goes, like at the end of last year. I have a few pinwheel blocks. You can see the little red and gray blocks here. There's a pinwheel and an hourglass. I'm tripping over all of my things here. So this pinwheel and these hourglasses, all three of these are going to go into my orphan blocks, and I have my box of orphans right here. It is flowing over. Well, not quite flowing over, but it's pretty full. And I thought about going ahead and putting them in a quilt, but I'm going to save that for later. But these three blocks can go ahead and go in there. So here's the pinwheel, and these are just made from leftover triangles from other projects that I stitched them together to make a block as sort of a leader ender. Here we have the green, blue, and gray string blocks that I have been working on, and I'm using a fabric foundation for those. The foundation is not it's not super good fabric, but I think it's going to be okay in the quilt. And I made two of those just to have something to do, just to kind of decompress. So these are done. And the goal for this is to have 30 blocks, and then I can put them into a quilt that will be about 50 by 60. So that's that. And then I made 5, 7s, and 9s blocks, and they're not cut down by any means, but I do have a tutorial for this block. Really simple, really fun. Just some scraps that you can kind of put together any way you want to. So that is also a work in progress that is still kind of working. And then I have the Jacob's Ladder behind me, but we're going to talk more about that in detail in a little bit. So I just wanted to get a few of these UFOs out of the way so you can kind of see them in progress. And then we can go through the other ones. And I don't want to rush through this video. There's just a lot to talk about. So I will kind of slow down from this point. I'll try to anyway, and get you guys caught up to speed with what I want to do. Let's scoot this back just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now I have a total, when I did the numbers, I have a total of 17 UFOs on this list, but I'll go through these. Let's go through the UFOs that I have first, and then we'll talk about my high priority, because my high priority is not included in the UFOs. It's just another thing that I want to / need to get done, or there, I say one, there's like 7 things on the list. And now I just added an 8th, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to write it here. Okay. So let's just go through in no particular order. I'm just going to pick up what I have here, and we'll just see. So let me see what we've already talked about. The we talked about the orphan blocks, the gray green navy strip quilt, and the 7s and 9s. Okay, so everything else is game. It's on the table here to discuss. So I'm just going to start with whatever I have right here, and then we'll just move from it. So let's start with my Jamaican sunrise quilt. I am really excited about this. I pulled it out, and I have a plan for quilting it. I know that you can just see a little smidge of it right here, but it's a Drunkard's Path quilt that I designed and pieced and quilted. And this is going to hopefully be my first finish of 2025. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I have the backing already picked. It's right here. And I just pulled it out the packaging, so it's super wrinkled. But once I press it, then we can get this bad boy on the long arm. Binding is already done. So this is hopefully quilt number 1 of 2025. So let's see. I'm going to slide that over there. And please excuse the mess, because it's going to be a mess as I go through all these projects. But hopefully, not hopefully, I will definitely get it back together at some point. This is my great grandmother's quilt. Whenever I refer to it, I will talk about it as Grandma Maddie's quilt, but it is also my mama's quilt. So this is still needing to be completed. We do have the backing for this. We went and got some muslin for the back of it. I think it's 90 wide. I think it's wide enough to just go ahead and quilt. So this is on the list, and I think I left the backing upstairs. It's somewhere, but there is a backing for it already purchased. Next is my beginner sampler quilt. And again, I don't know how much of this you can see on camera, but there is a playlist for this on my YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description box. It has 9 blocks, all taken from the Block a Day book, assorted colors and patterns, and it is sashed and cornerstoned. So I think once it's quilted, it's going to look really awesome. And the binding is already made for this one too. The backing is not. I have not made backing for it, so I don't know what we're going to do to back it yet. But it is a great quilt, and I love it, and I can't wait to get it quilted. And it's not super big, so hopefully it'll be a quick finish. And there's the binding. Okay. All right. We also have what is this? Oh, I'm calling this a UFO because I have it in a box. These are the aprons. I have not started them. I made one apron out of this fabric, but that was years ago. So I want to make I think I want to try to make this one that has the ruffles on it. That's a full apron instead of just a half apron. So that is on the list as well. And then we have, I feel like there's something missing. I'll go pull it. These are my Blue Star Light Star Bright blocks here. Again, there's a playlist for these blocks on the channel, and I'm going to combine these with this panel that was pieced by my grandmother. So I want to set the blocks on point and then use this fabric as the sashings somehow. So that's the goal for this one. Still in the works. In my brain, I have it figured out, but I have not started working on it yet. Then we have, let's see, what is this? Okay, so these are going to be hearts made out of rhombuses. I have my strips here. I've been cutting these from my Pellon paper, my strips from my Pellon paper. And so in here are the uncut strips, and then my Missouri Star rhombus template. This is the large template. So I'm going to cut the hearts out or cut the pieces out and then sew everything together. And I pulled some other fabric because I think I'm going to have some string hearts and then some solid fabric hearts. And so I pulled these two colors from my stash. These are colors, or these are fabrics that I have not used that I really want to use. And I'm thinking that they will look nice with these strips. I have no idea. But I pulled them because I was like, I think they'll look nice and I can use up some of the fabric. So this kind of salmon and then this kind of turquoise blue, I think, or aqua, whatever we call it. Hopefully these fabrics will work in nicely with this project. So it goes in there. And let's see here. What else is on the floor? This is a Cozy Quilt Designs pattern called A Star is Born. I want to get out a nice block that you can see. I started making these from a Moda scrap bag. But in the original pattern, the blocks called for 2.5 inch strips, but I'm using 2-inch strips because that's what I was able to cut the scrap bag strips down to. So it's a little bit more tedious, and I still have quite a bit of work to do on it. I have to decide exactly how to proceed, but this is a pretty cool project. In this box, I have the finished blocks, but upstairs are is a box with all the pieces in it. So yeah, lot to do with that one, but I think it'll be fun once I actually sit down to get it done. I have, let me see, I'm just going to go through, my 9 patches here. Let's see. Let me grab the 9 patch blocks. Okay. So I'm just over here grabbing my other blocks. So just a second, please. This unfinished piece or UFO is my Quilt As You Go 9 patches. So I think I have 15 of these blocks. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I probably have 14 blocks like this already completed, but maybe not. I don't remember. And then I made 6 more 9 patches that I just need to turn into panels like this. So that is another project that I have. I can use leftover batting and backing fabric to work on these. I just have not. So this is another one of my UFOs. My postage stamps. Let's see, are these postage stamps? No, these are orphan blocks. I'll grab my postage stamp blocks. Let's see. Here they are. So, this is so many projects. All right, so these are postage stamp blocks, 2.5 inch blocks here. And I'm not sure how many of these I have. This was a leader ender project, and I put it to the side because I wanted to try the Jacob's ladder. So this is another thing that I want to / need to complete or decide how I want to handle it and what we want to do with it. Okay, so let's see. I'm going through the list just to see what I have. So let's see. 9 patches question. We'll talk about Jacob's ladder in a minute. Rhombus hearts, grandma scraps. I think I have 12 jerseys of my son Cameron's that he would like to be turned into a quilt. I've had them since he was going to 7th grade, and he's about to graduate from high school. That still's not done. It's on the list. I have some 1.5 inch half square triangles and quarter square triangles that I think I would like to try hand piecing, but those some of those still need to be cut down into 1.5 inches. They just need to be squared up. Then I will think about how to hand piece them. A Star is Born, Beginner Sampler, Orphan Blocks, Jamaican Sunrise, Awareness Quilt. So this is a free pattern that I got from fabriccafe.com. It's called Awareness. It is a 3-yard quilt pattern. And I have some fabric that I'm interested in trying it out. I have this Curious George fabric. It was given to me, but I want to try it. I'm not even sure if it's a yard of fabric. I don't know. I'm going to look and see how many panels I need of it from this, from the pattern, and hopefully I can get those out of this, out of what I have. And then I've pulled two other fabrics to go with it. I pulled this blue star that I think can work. And I have these yellows, but I think I'm just going to go through and find all of my yellow scraps to fill it in. And I'm hopeful. I have not checked the pattern to see the sizes that I'll need of the yellow, but that's the goal, to put yellow in as my fabric 2, and then the blue is my fabric 3. The blue, I think it was from a 108, but if not, hopefully I can get the pieces that I need out of it. I just have to do the math and see what I can get out of it. But I think that there may be more pieces of this in my scrap bin as well. So I will look for those. And it's a UFO only because I've already packaged it up. So hopefully I can get it done this year or at some point soon. This is a new project. I have one more new project that I want to try. And so I'll share that with you. These are my papers that I made the rainbow string quilt. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the rainbow string quilt. It is over there. I'll grab it in a second. But I have these papers, and I was looking through, and as I was looking in my upstairs sewing space, I found this box, and I was like, what is in this box? And I got it from Rochelle at EJ's Daughter YouTube channel, and she sent me all of these scraps, and they are all strings, batik strings, but they are pretty skinny. So I have 2 big bags of batik strings. These 2 bags. There's also a few fabric pieces in here. I was looking for some purple. She sent me some purple. And then she sent me some orphan blocks. So I have all of these to work with. And I decided that I want to make string quilts out of these teeny tiny strings. I was going to do it with 8.5 by 11 paper, but the strings are so skinny that I'm like, I don't know if I want to use that long strip for big paper. So I'm going to take these these papers. They are 12.5 inches. I'm going to cut them into fourths, which is 6.25 inches, and make string quilts. In my mind, there are some black strips in here. So having the black as the center, and then doing warm colors on one side and cool colors on the other side. That's what I'm thinking in my brain. And we'll see if it's going to work, but I think it could be a really fun quilt. It would be a lot of blocks, but we'll just see how much I can get out of this. And it probably would be enough for a whole quilt, whether or not I think so. I think it would be. I did kind of do the math on these, and I would need a lot of blocks to get a decent sized quilt that I would like. So I have more papers at my fiance's house like this because we do the shirts all the time. So we have more of these papers. It would just be a matter of stitching everything down. All right. Now, that is all of my UFOs. 2 of them are completely new projects. The rainbow string quilt is over there. I guess I'll put a picture here for the sake of time for the video so that you can see that. I don't have the binding made for that, but I do have a backing chosen. It just has to be stitched together and make sure it works. All right. Now, even with these UFOs, my only concern with them is that I do have, like I said, a list of 8 major projects. Some of them are new, and one of them just has to take priority because it's a commission, and it is a 3-bear order that I got before Christmas. So that's like the number 1 priority of everything. Okay, I have to get that done. Hopefully in January it will be completed and I can get it to the client, and then I can move on with other things. So these are some other projects that I have to do. 1, the bears. 2, my mom's bag that I started in the summertime. It's still over there and it needs to be completed for her. My great grandmother's quilt, yes, that's definitely a priority. But when I talked to my mom, who you guys know is my chief quilting officer, she said that the next three projects after the bears are the most important. And this year in my family, we have three high school graduates. My nephew in Middle Georgia is graduating. I have a niece in Texas who is graduating, and my son Cameron is graduating. So I have three quilts that I need to make for this year. Okay. It's going to be totally fun. I am very excited about it. And, but it just has to get done. So I have to start preparing for those quilts. I'm going to work on Cameron's second because my niece is out in Texas. So I'm going to work on hers first. I will probably work all three of them in together at some point. My other nephew in Middle Georgia, he said that he wants a shirt with his theater, or a quilt with some theater shirts on it. So I have some time for that one because he's still in productions. So I don't know how many shirts he's going to want and all that stuff. So I don't have to worry about that right now. But my other two, my niece and my Cameron, I am going to start working on those pretty soon. And you're going to see that in the when I do my roundup of how we're going to get this thing started. Okay. I have two sewing machines that also need to be repaired. So I'm going to be working on those as well. I need to take them to the shop so that they can be worked on. So that's also going to be worked into my process because those things are very important. Okay. So that is so much. How am I going to accomplish this? There are several ideas that I've had. I've seen a couple of people of the Quilted Forest and Coriander Quilts where they are going to put their UFOs in a number system and then randomly draw one each month. I love that. I might do that. I have not decided because of all of the other stuff that I have to do. Because of the new project. So I don't know if I can work in that system. Especially with these bears over my head. I got to get those done. So what I decided to do right now, I'm just going to focus on January. And I wrote it here on my little board here. And I've had this whiteboard, but I haven't used it in a while. So I hope you can see it. So this is my priorities for January. And that's all I can focus on right now, just because that's all I got. So first things first, the bear order I put first and most. That means if I work on anything, any sewing during the day, this is what I work on first. And it's what gets the most of my time right now. So like this morning, I worked on it for about 35 to 45 minutes on just the bears. Okay. My second priority is my mom's bag. And I put 25 minutes every other day until it's done. I know that it will take 2 25-minute sessions because I just have to sew it together. All of the prep work is done. It's just a matter of sewing the bag together. So I will work on that. And then I didn't even talk about this, the Jacob's Ladder quilt. Now, the reason that the Jacob's Ladder quilt is a priority is because I'm going to give it to my dad. My dad is having a big birthday this year. He's turning 75 in February. So that means that I need to finish this quilt in about 6 weeks. I'm really thankful. And I was going to do my orphan blocks for that quilt. But then when I pulled this out, or I thought about it, I was like, hey, I have this mostly done. Well, not mostly, but I have 14 blocks already made, a 15th block in progress, and I have enough squares cut out to make 30 blocks. So it's just a matter of sewing these simple Jacob's Ladder blocks. And when I put it on the wall and took a picture of it, I was like, this will be perfect. Maybe not this layout, but I think this is going to be a great quilt for him. And so right now I have 25 minutes every other day, but really it doesn't have to be that much because these blocks don't take that long. The goal for me is to have the quilt top finished by the end of January. Then I can put it on the long arm, get it quilted pretty quickly, hopefully, and then get it to him. The backing, I think that I'll be able to use the backing that I made for the community quilt. I think it's going to fit perfectly. I just have to get the blocks made and put everything together. The last thing for my priorities for January is to get the patterns for my niece and for Cameron's quilt. I already know what I'm going to do. I just need to download and print the patterns, or I need to purchase, download, and print these two patterns. And that's the goal just for January. And then I'll start gathering fabric. If I get this done quickly, I can start gathering fabric, maybe 10 minutes a few times, just to see what I have in my stash if I need to purchase anything. Okay, so these are my 4 major projects. The bonus means that I have extra time, or I feel like I'm ahead, or I get these bears done, then I can start putting the Jamaican Sunrise quilt on the long arm. I'm very excited because I already have a plan to quilt it. So once I get it on the long arm, and if everything goes well, then it should be easy-ish quilting. So this is my plan for January. I am very excited about it. A little nervous, but I think it's going to be great. Let me know. I was just checking my microphone. Let me know in the comments what you're working on, what you're excited about. If you have any special plans for 2025 or any systems that you're trying to put in place to get some stuff done. It doesn't have to be more stuff, but just to get a few things done or to get into a habit of sewing, something like that. Okay. I hope that this helps you. I hope it gives you some kind of encouragement / support as we prepare for the new year. Don't overdo it. I'm going to try not to overdo it. But I do want to get all these things done. So if you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.